Hey, welcome back to the Rec Room Radio Hour podcast. I am, as ever, your very humble and contrite host, Michael Lundy, and we are sitting down on this episode with one of the most respected and well-known guitar players, songwriters, musicians, and guitar technicians here in the central Susquehanna Valley. The one and only, very unassuming as I'm learning, Bryan Noaker. And I had never met Bryan. I met him in passing, but heard about him and knew him by reputation. And it was just so great to sit down with him and learn about his life story. A remarkable musician. And I will tell you right up front, we did not scratch the surface, so we're going to have Bryan back at some point. But we're going to kick things off on this episode with a song written by Bryan Noaker and Alan Colmes. This is a song called Go the Distance, and we are going to go the distance with our good friend Bryan Noaker right here on the Rec Room Radio Hour podcast. Take it away, guys.
Stay right by my side. If I had to beg and borrow, would you run, would you hide? And when the sun comes up tomorrow, we'll all face another day. Life is happiness and sorrow, and all too soon it fades away. After all that I've been through, it's hard to think of all this too. If the chips were down, would you be by my side? If it all came undone, would I find you on the run? Would you go the distance with me one more time? Would you go the distance with me one more time? And if I am the last man standing, will it ever be enough? This world can be demanding. You can hedge your bet, or you can bluff. So pull a chair up to the table to play the hand that you've been dealt. Are you willing? Are you able? Your heart begin to melt. After all that I've been through, it's hard to think of all this too. If the chips were down, would you be by my side? If it all came undone, would I find you on the run? Would you go the distance with me one more time? Would you go the distance with me one more time? Yeah, yeah. If this world is moving too fast, maybe they'll let you off this ride. Nothing here is ever meant to last. A loneliness you feel inside. You don't get to do this over. So take the leap, enjoy the fall. A parachute, a four-leaf clover. Little luck and safety for us all. After all that I've been through, it's hard to think of all this too. If the chips were down, would you be by my side? And if it all came undone, one more time? Would you go the distance with me one more time? Would you go the distance with me one more time? Would you go the distance with me one more time? Yeah, yeah.
I'm always under the gun doing these podcasts, especially with somebody that I have not formally met, and I've just met our next guest formally a few minutes before we turned the mics on. However, I have seen him around the central Susquehanna valleys, every place from Old Forge Brewing to back when we used to do when Steve Mitchell had the mashups down at Bull Run and the King Street Coffee House. This guy is how shall I put this? He is like this current of talent that runs through the entire valley. And it plays with everybody. You play with Kimbo. He plays with Leo Armbruster. He plays with. He is just the everyman talent here in the central Susquehanna valleys. This is Bryan Noaker. And Bryan, we welcome you to the Rec Room Radio Hour podcast. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, it is a pleasure. And and we were chatting before we turned the microphones on that we probably met in passing, or we've seen each other specifically at the old King Street Coffee House.
Right.
Yeah. And I can't remember because I've slept since then. Obviously, you played at the old King Street Coffee House a number of times over the years.
I played there with the Ann Kerstetter band.
That's right.
We were there quite a few times. And
this was at the old Unitarian Church, though, is when you guys played. If I remember, or was it when they moved it to the Edison?
I don't remember.
I can't either.
Because I played in all three locations in the actual place in Northumberland. And
it's too bad that's not still going on. That was a lot of fun.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I always look forward to that because it was a listening crowd. I mean, people were there to it was, and I think musicians appreciated it too because it was an opportunity for you to go and see somebody do as much original material as you could. Yeah. And I think more of us are interested in that than what somebody covers.
Right. Correct. But you have, I was trying to think of how to kind of describe you. Would you, you play with everyone, it seems like. And because of that, you don't kind of fit into this niche genre. You're not blues or singer-songwriter thing. You just kind of fit in anywhere, it seems like. I mean, is that a pretty fair assumption?
Well,
I'm asking you.
No, I think that would probably that's a fair statement.
Yeah.
I kind of got my start up. I guess is Muncie Lycoming County?
Heck yeah.
I was barely 15 years old.
Well, let's set the Wayback Machine back even farther than that. Where were you born?
I was born in Milton.
Okay,
that's where I was born.
So you're a local guy.
Very local.
Very local. Yeah. And mom and dad, were they musically inclined? Were they musicians or?
Not musicians per se. Both could play different instruments.
Yeah.
My father made sure that I got hooked up with guitar.
Yeah.
And my mother made sure that I could play the piano. And
okay.
So, there were three of us, and all three of us learned to do that. I think it justified having a piano in the house. And one of us excelled at it, and my brother and I both were average piano players. And,
okay, so this is what do you still play the piano?
Oh yeah. In fact, with one of the groups that I played with, that was my primary function.
No kidding.
B3. Yeah.
Wow. So you said one of your siblings excelled at piano, keyboard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they in the area or?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Not too far from me.
Good.
And she spent her career in education, teaching. So. Yeah.
Wow. So from an early age, though, you were exposed to guitar from your dad and piano and keyboards from your mom. Mm-hmm. At what age do you consciously remember playing music, or when did you start playing?
Probably the first thing that I had to do, I was 10 years old, and this was back in a day when churches used to have these banquets, mm-hmm. and they called them father-son, mother-daughter banquets.
Okay.
And it was, of course, I don't know if that's politically correct today, but
yeah, it is.
But for me, it was. It was really the first opportunity, and my father came home and said they need special music. Okay, special music. I didn't know what that meant, mm-hmm. and he asked me if I could do a number or two for this banquet, and I was terrified.
Because you're 10 years old.
I was 10.
And did he come home? How much time did he give?
There was like a month and a half.
Oh, okay. All right.
He didn't spring it on me.
Oh, okay. All right.
And I tried to make up every possible way to get out of it, including, I didn't know what to play. I didn't,
Yeah.
But eventually it came to me, and I did a couple of I guess you would call them early 70s folk, contemporary Christian songs for that. And it was really the first exposure to it. And
at 10 years old,
yeah, it was pretty interesting because I came out of it thinking, well, that wasn't too bad. That wasn't horrible.
The bug had bitten.
Yeah.
And so you thought it wasn't that bad. Did you actually enjoy performing in front of people at that age?
Yeah, I think once I had a taste of it, it was like, oh, well, it wasn't what I thought it would be.
Wow.
And I'm not sure if there were too many follow-up things after that, but eventually found my way into a group of guys in high school.
Okay.
And we did that whole thing.
Now, did the guitar you played when you were 10 at the father-son banquet, was that a guitar that was given to you? Did you ask for it? Did you buy it? Did you have a connection to it?
Well, it wasn't the first one that I had.
Okay. What was the first one you had?
The first one, and again, I'm dating myself. My parents purchased it with S&H green stamps.
Oh yeah,
trading stamps.
Yeah.
And we went to this. It was something made in Japan or China, I don't know where, but the action at the first fret was just deplorable.
Yeah.
And but it taught me to appreciate a really quality instrument. And
I think we all played that same guitar as our first guitar, with the action that measures in feet.
But kids don't experience that today, because even the really inexpensive instruments are they play pretty well.
Yeah.
That wasn't the first one, but they had purchased a classical guitar that was really way above my pay grade at that point, and it played so nice, and so that's what I played. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah. So from there, and were you taking guitar lessons, or were you just playing on your own, or?
I was classically trained.
No kidding.
And there was a little old lady that lived down the street, and she was very. She was classically trained.
Yeah.
And it was the the whole bit where you're like.
Oh yeah, have to have your foot up, and
she made sure that I could finger pick, and even in getting into theory and so forth.
Oh, really?
So she was a really good teacher.
Yeah. How long were you with her? How long were you being taught by her?
About 7 or 8 years.
No kidding. Wow. Yeah. Same with keyboard? I mean, were you still doing keyboard while you were taking...
Piano I picked up a little bit later.
Okay.
I think I was more in middle school when I started that, and I did a couple of years of lessons.
Wow.
And but at that point, it was really to serve my own ends, because I knew that was a big part of modern and popular music.
Yeah.
I'd better learn to master that, or at least have some knowledge of it.
Now, are you, because you took formal lessons for 7 years, and then piano you took formal lessons with that, would you consider yourself a classically or formally trained musician, or
Not as formally trained as I would have liked to have been.
Okay.
Because I've met people that really are better instructed than me, but it did give me a really good background that a lot of folks don't have.
Yeah.
The biggest difference, the way that I came into it, really allowed me to come in and read charts and do things like that not every musician has.
Right.
And so it expanded opportunities, like in orchestra pits, where somebody will hand you a book and say,
Play it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that, and I know the answer to this question already. Does those experiences with formal lessons in guitar and piano, did that not only set you up to doing stuff like orchestra pits, but being able to just jump into a band or a group or a duo and just be able to play and play any type of genre? I mean,
I'm sure it had something to do with that.
Okay.
But for me, I mean, it kind of goes back to something that my dad told me, starting out. And I was, like all of us, you want to do what you want to do. You've got your heroes, and you've got, I don't know who I was listening to at the time, but I'm sure that I wanted to play rock. I'm sure that's what I wanted to do. And ironically, the very first paying gig that I had was playing classic country. And
oh, really?
I remember talking to my dad, and I said, this isn't really, it's not my thing. And he kind of stopped me, and he said, well, you can't just play what you want to play. And I said, well, I don't mean that. I said, but like a style. He said, no, man. He said, you have to learn to play it all.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking at the time, sure, yeah, okay, learn to play it all. But the older I got, the more that really resonated with me. And he was really right.
Yeah.
Is right. Because, at least for me, he was right. Because it afforded me, the opportunity, to do so many different things and play in places that I never thought I'd ever be.
You may have mentioned it or may have alluded to it earlier. Was your dad was he a working musician? Did he play out?
No.
That's some pretty good insight then from somebody that, isn't playing out.
No, he just had a thorough appreciation for music.
Wow.
And, I think, I don't know, I think he knew, in order to, at least the people that he had seen, I guess, the musicians that he had been aware of could pretty much do it all. And,
interesting.
And I think, too, that, he was just trying to think ahead for me a little bit and trying to give me a bigger vision of what you could do.
But again, he didn't play in bands. He didn't, do it.
No, his experience was just kind of sitting in the living room playing the guitar. And at one point, we actually took lessons together. And he was kind of relearning things, But he was a plumber and a pipe fitter by trade, and sometimes that kind of stuff got in the way.
Yeah. Is Dad still with us? Is he
91 years old?
No kidding. Yeah. That is some tremendous insight. I mean, that is sage advice to a young musician, that you would think that would have come from somebody that is, out there. But so for him to have that kind of insights, that's pretty pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And obviously it served you well over the years. So.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
never without work. So.
It seems like it. So the first band you were in, you kind of mentioned it a little bit. You were about 15, you said, in high school was your first band?
Yeah, we typical kind of stuff. We were 3-piece, and so we were trying early Grand Funk Railroad, things like that. We dreamed of doing Rush, but we weren't good enough to do Rush. But stuff like that.
Yeah.
Real basic guitar, bass, drums.
Now you have graduated from the classical guitar at this point, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. What were you playing with the band in high school, if you remember?
What kind of guitar?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I purchased a Les Paul, and this was about 1979. And I saved up every penny I had for it. Worked, and it was a whopping $275. So we think about Les Pauls today, and, but that's what it cost.
Yeah.
And it was at a store in Bloomsburg called Hartzell's, and it was a great store. If you talk to any of the older musicians from that area, everybody knows about it. It was legendary.
Wow!
Going into that store, because it was in the guy's house.
Okay.
It was in the basement of his home.
Oh my gosh!
And it felt just like that. You walked in, and he was a Gibson dealer.
From the basement of his
house. But again, 45 years ago.
Sure.
So
yeah. Was there any reason why you went towards a Les Paul? Now, was that your first electric guitar?
Oh no! I had
okay.
I had a variety of really crummy ones.
Okay.
And I think there were probably 2 or 3, and I think I ended up with a Les Paul copy at some point.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I developed that. And
okay.
One of the guys that I was playing with at that time had a Gibson L6S, and I remember thinking that thing really plays well, And of course, anything would have played better than what I had at that point. And I don't know. I guess it was more a matter of price. I mean, I remember looking at the time, and trying to find something that I could afford.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I could really afford was a Fender Mustang, and I didn't know anything about them. I mean, it wasn't like you were going to get a Tele or a Strat for cheap. And I remember we came across this thing, and I thought, that's unbelievable. I need to buy that.
Yeah.
So I did.
Good.
So
not a bad one though.
Yeah, but there was really no. It was a special. It had P90s, has P90s, and.
You still have it?
Oh yeah. I wouldn't. I worked too hard to get it.
Oh heck yeah!
And it's it's sentimental.
What model? What year? What model year is it?
It was a 1977.
Okay.
It's a double cut. So it's kind of an oddball to begin with. They were not real popular. The only guys that I'd seen play them were Peter Tosh.
Yep.
And it was a special, so it's flat.
Yep.
And it had 2 P90s in it.
Okay.
And wine red. And it was sort of my mainstay for, probably 15 years.
Now, what amp did you run through? If you remember.
Initially, a Sears Silvertone Twin 12. And could kick myself for getting rid of it. But
was that back when they were still made with tubes?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It was a classic.
Oh wow.
But graduated eventually to a Marshall Plexi after that.
I was waiting for the Marshall to come in.
Yeah, that made its way into my life, and.
So, what was the name of this band that you played in so you're 15 at this point?
Yeah, at that point, 15 years old.
Yeah. What was the name of this band?
The band was called Maiden Voyager.
I like that.
Kind of going on the idea of a ship.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. But we did the typical, your friends are having a party, so we got hired to play.
Yeah.
Shows that parents got us, because I think maybe one of us was old enough to drive. But the weird thing that happened was the drummer was connected up here with two guys that played country music.
Mm-hmm.
And he was about 2 years older than me. And he'd been playing this gig while we were doing our, 3-piece band.
Yeah.
And one night he said to me, he said, do you think you could come up and play bass for us? And I said, sure. So did that, and it wasn't long until I was there every week too.
No kidding.
And,
playing bass.
Yeah, and it was funny because I don't even remember being old enough to get there. I had a ride with somebody else, and of course it was a different time period too. I mean, I'm certain that they wouldn't allow a 15-year-old to go in and do this anymore. And I'm not certain that anyone really knew that I was underage at the time. But the place was the Muncie Hotel, no longer there.
Yeah.
And we were there, Thursday nights. And then we played the Williamsport Legion too, like every other Saturday.
Oh, wow.
For about a year.
Yeah.
And it was a great experience. I wouldn't trade it. These guys were much older than us, and just the variety of material that I was exposed to really expanded my, and every now and then, like, I'll just break out one of those songs, from that gig.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny. I'm thinking, I remember where I was when I learned this.
Oh, wow. Wow.
But yeah, it was good experience.
But I mean, that, again, you jump from, the 3-piece power trio, 15 years old, into classic country. Obviously, your dad's words ringing true is, learn, be able to be versatile.
Yep.
Yeah. And you're still doing it. So that's pretty amazing. So do you consider that you were like a full-time member of this band, or were you just sitting in with them on occasion?
Well, eventually I was.
You were it.
Part of the personnel. Yeah.
No kidding. And,
it was, like I said, it was just really. You couldn't replicate that situation today. You couldn't. If I had a 15-year-old kid here, you just couldn't. You couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And.
Well, the fact that you were playing every Thursday night at the Muncie Hotel, I mean, that stuff doesn't happen anymore.
No. It was, and then going to high school too, most of the time.
Did you know that you wanted to make? I mean, obviously at that point you were like you were committed to doing music for the rest of your life. I assume, yeah. Did you play your own bass? Did you end up buying a bass, or did they supply it for you?
I had to borrow one for that show.
Oh, okay. All right.
I borrowed one from somebody, and eventually, I ended up getting one.
Yeah.
But it was just they just needed a fourth guy.
Yeah.
And vocally, I chipped in too.
Okay.
And that, I think that kind of solidified it.
Wow.
So,
how long did you play with them then?
Oh gosh, that was probably 3 or 4 years.
No kidding. And then Maiden Voyager, how long did that little project last?
That lasted until we were all out of high school. And one of us went into the military, and I went to college.
Yeah.
And,
Did you did you go to college locally, or did you go outside the area?
Bloomsburg and then Bucknell.
Okay, so that's all in the area. Were you still playing in bands during that time, or still playing at all?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That became my payment plan. So yeah, that helped.
So were you playing in were you in a band like a solid band, or were you just playing pickup gigs or what during college?
After the group that was called Maiden Voyager disbanded, two of us that were left added 2 more people.
Oh, okay.
And we actually joined a group of guys from Danville, Catawissa area, and they had a band called Fantasy. And we were with them roughly until, that was sometime around 1986, 85. That ran its course until about 1994.
Wow, that's a good run.
Yeah. It was 3, sometimes 4 guys, and we got into the whole sequential keyboards thing, doing that stuff. Bass player was really a fine guitar player, and so we would sequence bass lines. He would pick up a rhythm part.
Did you finally get to play some Rush?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We got to do some stuff like that. That was fun.
When we started talking about the sequencers and all that, it's like, okay, he's got to be doing some Rush stuff. So
yeah, that was. We actually did stuff that was more complex than that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was.
Where do you get more complex than some of the stuff that those 3 guys did?
Depends what you're sequencing, I guess.
I guess, yeah. Well, so was it? So this band was was it all covers, or were you doing originals?
No, that was all covers.
All covers. Yeah.
We didn't really do any originals.
So we've got a little bit of space now between starting out and now you're in college playing in the band Fantasy. Was it a 4 or 5 piece? You said.
Initially, I think they were 5, and over time it got pared down to 3 of us. But they were really very good because it started out as 3 brothers, and they, in terms of their harmonies, I mean, they were just so good.
Oh yeah,
and I would assume because they grew up together.
Yeah.
There was just some kind of connection there that, and so as a vocalist, it really made it easy to kind of just jump right in on top of that.
Yeah.
Because they knew what they were doing before anybody did.
Yeah. Yeah. Familial harmonies, whether it's a parent and children or siblings. I mean, it's, Everly Brothers, and think of all the sibling harmony groups that you can think of. I mean, it's just, oh God, they're so good. And some of them just come to it naturally. It's like, wow. Had you started writing songs anytime between starting out and getting up in these bands? Had you been writing songs?
Yeah, probably sometime in early high school. When you start kind of coming to grips with the fact that you have emotions and feelings, and you can think about things, and had written some there, and then certainly after school, really kind of got into it, and did quite a bit of writing.
Yeah. Any of the songs that you wrote back then, are you still playing them now, or are they, pretty?
Some of them, when I listen to them now, they feel like dated.
Yeah.
They feel very time period. And I listen to stuff that I recorded in the 80s. And it sounds like the 80s.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
They were original, songs back then to me, but they certainly had the flavor of what was happening at that time in music. So.
Wow. Well, the song that we kicked off with was "Go the Distance," which is pretty up-tempo song. Is that a more recent song, or is that something you've written a couple of years ago, or?
That was written about 3 years ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to plug that because I as you were talking, I was like, oh, we didn't plug your first song as we played in. So you're with Fantasy, your college years. When that project finished up, you said 94. You can take us on from there. So
yeah. At that point, like a lot of us, I'd been asked to host an open mic.
Yeah.
And I was doing that in my hometown at a local bar. And
Milton, correct?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And it really, we really kind of built it into something that people looked forward to. And it quickly became the busiest night of the week, for the bar.
Oh, wow.
And every now and then you'd get a special guest that would come in that would just blow you away.
Yeah.
If you remember when MTV would do spring break
Yes.
beach parties, that kind of thing, there was a band that was coming through called September's Child. Still remember it. And they were great. It was a three-piece band, and they rolled in their bus and came in and did like a whole set, and they were fantastic. And the next time I saw them, they were on television. And I'm like, what brought you to Milton? Places, but again,
and how did they know about your open mic in Milton?
I think they were up here. They were actually staying in Williamsport.
Oh, okay.
And they were looking for something to do, and I guess they found it. Somehow somebody knew about it.
Now, was this just like an acoustic open mic, or was it a full band open mic?
We tried everything.
Oh, okay. All right.
I used to basically just do acoustic because I was hosting it, and I just wanted to go in and do my shtick, and then it was up to everyone else. But we kept a drum kit there, kind of like you do at Finish Line. I mean, we kept a drum kit, and there were a couple of amplifiers, and there was even a piano in there, I think.
Oh, wow.
But you would get guys that would come up with a full band, or else they would actually kind of throw things together while people were like, you, and you, okay, we'll get together and play. And
cool.
That kind of happened. Even had a couple of comedians one time. That was different, because it wasn't really set up for that.
Yeah.
We entertained it anyway, and there was a guy that was brave enough to do it. He did a good job.
I've gone to a handful of comedy open mics, and oh my gosh, it's certainly like a box of chocolates. You don't know what you're going to get.
I'm sure.
And and I've seen more amateur hobbyist comedians miss more than they hit, and because doing comedy, live comedy, off the cuff, in an open mic, or even just a structured like a comedy club, that's hard.
Oh yeah.
Comedy is hard. There's an old saying. So dying is easy, comedy's hard. Or dying is easy, comedy is hard. Wow. You never did the comedy thing, did you?
No,
okay.
not on purpose.
Not on purpose.
I'm sure I've done things that were comedic on stage, but
so we're into the mid '90s, and obviously, I guess you're out of college. And are you playing pretty regularly in the area? Are you in any bands, or what are you doing at this point?
At that point, and it kind of grew out of that open mic.
Okay.
There were a bunch of guys that got together, and they wanted to put a blues band together. Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll put a blues band together, and they called it Milltown Blues because Milton used to be called Milltown. That's the history of it. Mm-hmm. And so that's what they called themselves. And it's always been a loose organization of characters. I mean, it still exists today.
Oh, really?
They still play.
Oh, wow.
There are a couple of us that are kind of founding, members. But, they do about 12 shows a year.
Wow.
And, nothing too flashy. And they do standards. There's nothing real intricate.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. And usually we'll schedule the shows and then decide who we want in the lineup.
Yeah.
And, okay, we want a piano player this time, or we want a sax player.
Yeah.
And again, it's just good fun.
Yeah.
Not high stress or anything like that. And then we play places where it's a local crowd. People know us.
Yeah.
And
you say you play about 12 times a year then?
Yeah, that group doesn't go out very often.
Yeah.
We're just, it's kind of just for fun.
Milltown Blues Band.
Yep.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that. Now, are you in that, like, if they're playing, you're going to be with them, or is it just kind of an ad hoc group or something?
Ad hoc is probably the best way to describe it. My son has actually sat in. He's been the guitar player for it from time to time.
So your son is playing guitar.
My son's a guitar player.
Did you give him the same advice that your dad gave you?
Absolutely.
Good for you.
But he went a couple steps further. But yeah.
Well, do tell. I mean, if you don't mind, or
well, he ended up at Berkeley in Boston.
Oh, wow. Good for you. Good for you. That that's it's good for him, but I mean the fact that I can't imagine you didn't inspire him to do that. So good for you.
Yeah, I hope I did.
Yeah, I would think so.
But he did some studying up there, and in between, he probably had the ultimate gig for any college student. He worked at Cedar Point, which is out in Sandusky, Ohio, and in the Cedar Point Park, there's probably 5 or 6 theaters, and they have different shows. And his mother and I told him, "Look, you got to get a job this summer." And he said, "I'll get a job." And he said, I talked to an agent, and the entire time he's telling me this, my eyes are rolling. I'm thinking, okay, what kind of job is this? But it turned out it was, he ended up in a Motown review out there and played over 2 summers. He was 550 shows.
No kidding.
Of this Motown show. And it was a 45-minute gig, but he had to do it 4 or 5 times a day, 6 days a week.
Same set, very structured and everything. Yeah.
Click track the entire time.
Yeah.
And everything staged, everything, choreographed.
Yeah.
First time I saw my kid dance, that was funny. They really broke him in well.
Yeah.
And he effectively wore out a Les Paul in 2 summers. The guitar that he had going into it didn't look the same after that.
Oh wow!
But he really had a lot of fun.
Now, was he schooled? I mean, obviously he was schooled, but did he gravitate towards Motown, or is it just this is the gig I've got and I'm going to play it?
That was very much what happened.
Yeah.
In fact, he was up here at. He did a couple of years up here at the Uptown Collective.
Okay.
And really kind of came into his own up here.
Yeah.
He actually started as a drummer. He was a good little drummer. We saw that early on and got him lessons, and he really excelled. And I thought, he was monstrous.
Yeah.
Double kick the whole 9 yards. And about middle school, he just decided, I think I want to play the guitar. And he still plays both. But,
sure. Good for, well, again, be versatile.
Yeah.
Is he still playing? Is he still?
Yep. He's up in Cambridge and still playing. And when he comes home, I still utilize him.
Good for you.
Good for actually, he played with Milltown over the holiday.
Oh,
he
cool.
was a guitar player for that.
Good. Now, do you have any other children that are excelling in music as their father is?
I have a stepdaughter that's up here at Uptown.
Okay.
She's singing and doing a little bit of that.
Wow, good for you.
She plays the piano too.
Well, let's get back to you in the mid-'90s. So we got the open mic, and I don't know how we got down this rabbit hole, but it was a good rabbit hole to go down. So you're doing the open mics and Milltown band that you're in.
Yep.
Take us from there.
Milltown Blues, you're going to laugh. But the very first gig that we had, was opening for Eric Burden of the Animals.
Really?
There was a club in Milton called Fiddlesticks.
Okay.
It's no longer there, but they would get nationals.
Eric Burden, no
Yep.
kidding.
We were slated to open for Bo Diddley.
Oh.
No pressure there.
No.
A local, very white blues band.
Yeah.
Opening
for Bo Diddley.
Yeah.
Now, another rabbit hole. I saw him play an aircraft hangar in 1984 in England, and he had one of those pickup bands. Pickup. Were you guys like his pickup band, or did he have his own band that came with him?
No, he had his own band.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right. Because
we weren't the backing band.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Because I always hear these stories about him and Chuck Berry. Like Chuck Berry would always have a pickup band in any town he played in. And there was no rehearsal. He would just come in, unpack his guitar, get his money in cash. Yep. And you were just supposed to know his stuff and know what he wanted to play. So I thought you were going to say, oh, then, we had to back up Bo Diddley, which would have been.
No.
But the fact that you opened for him is still pretty damn cool.
Well, we were slated to do that.
Yeah.
And at the last minute, there was a change. And they said, well, it won't be Bo Diddley, it'll be Eric Burdon. And similarly, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
This is pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So we did. And it was an interesting experience because it was local. I mean, it was in my hometown.
Yeah.
And you can only put about 800 people in that club. Mm-hmm. So it was full.
No kidding.
And, a lot of folks, carrying their old Animals albums around. And they wanted signatures.
So that stuff went on even back then with these, classic rock. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But we got to meet Eric, and he was okay with us.
Yeah. I've heard stories, but,
Well, he basically asked us when we were going to be done. Actually, I think it was, how many more songs are you blokes going to do anyway? That's what he said to us.
Oh, okay. All right.
And then he asked us if we would leave. But he apologized later. He said, look, I'm 67 years old.
Yeah.
He said, I got to be in Atlantic City by noon tomorrow. And I said, well, it's only like 4 hours from here. That's not that far.
Yeah.
Said,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Wait till you're 65.
Yeah. So, yeah.
But wow, two things are cool about that. Number one, that you opened for Eric Burdon and you opened for Bo Diddley. But the other cool thing is that Milton, Pennsylvania hosted Eric Burdon and Bo Diddley.
Oh,
damn!
Amongst other people.
Amongst others, yeah. But I mean, just
yeah,
that's incredible.
Yeah, I wish the club was still there.
Oh, wow.
The building's there, but David Allan Coe played there.
Wow.
I think Quiet Riot.
Well, that's a huge panache of David Allan Coe to Quiet Riot to Bo Diddley.
I think they got whoever they could get
coming
through.
Wow.
But yeah, there was a good bit of talent going
pretty
through
cool.
there. Yeah.
And that was the first gig that you. So the first gig you had with Milltown was open for no pressure. Yeah. And then he tells you, how long you guys play for. Lovely.
Well, the first act ran over, and
okay. So there's another opening.
Yeah, we got squished in the middle.
Oh, lovely.
And I could see what was happening.
Sure. Yeah.
It wasn't anything personal, but it was pretty funny because the stage door opened on the side of the stage, and it was him. And in my mind, I thought, he's going to say something really amazing to me. Like, this is going to be the moment that changes my life.
Yeah.
He's going to say, it's going to change me as a musician. And I walked over and I said, what's up, man? And he said, how many more songs are you guys going to do? And it just deflated me, But it kind of put me in my place.
Yeah.
After all, they weren't coming to see us.
That's right.
They were coming to see him. So.
Well, that's pretty cool. So after that auspicious start with Milltown Blues Band, where kind of take us through that.
Well, they continue to play today with a host of characters, and again, we'd actually talked about trying to kind of line up all the alumni that have been a part of that, and it's a who's who. I mean,
cool.
You could pretty much name a name, and somebody's been close to it or part of it, at one point or another.
Yeah.
But after that, let's see, what did I do after that? A lot of solo acoustic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
About 96, that was when I connected with Kimbo Reichley as well. And we've had an acoustic duet since.
You two have been playing the acoustic duo since the mid-90s.
Yeah, 1996.
Oh, wow.
He had just come out of the David Rose band. David had passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he knew what he was going to do.
Yeah.
And I knew that I was a part of this group called Milltown, but it wasn't anything serious.
Right.
And, Kimbo and I got together and we played just all kinds of stuff, And again, it was the idea of I'm playing with somebody that's 15 years older than me, so his music that he knew, was just a little bit different and a wider swath of material. And again, with that duet, I mean, we don't have a specific genre. I mean, we just kind of play the music that sounds good to us.
Yeah.
Some of it's popular, some of it's country, some of it is indie. I mean, it's just kind of whatever we want. We throw it up there, and if it sticks, then keep it.
Good. Well, there's a character, and I've got to put Kimbo in that chair and talk to him at some point, because there's a character he's another one that's done it all, and he's another person I think you could plop him down in a funk band and he'd excel. So yeah. So let's kind of make a segue now, because there's a couple things that I want to ask you in the second segment. We're going to play one of your songs, your original songs, 24 Hours From Now. Kind of tee that up, and when did you write it? What's the inspiration? Just kind of tee it up for us a little bit.
Okay. I think that was written sometime prior to 2004, 2004 or 5, something like that. I remember, again, it came from a statement that somebody made to me. Without getting into all the nuts and bolts of it, there was something that was going on. There was something happening that was really kind of distasteful, and something that I had to contend with. And I remember somebody that I really looked up to, they said, nothing's ever as bad as it seems or as good as it seems. And if you come back to this in 24 hours, it might look totally different, what you're seeing now.
Yeah.
And I kind of thought about that. And of course, the next day, things did appear different.
Yeah.
And, things kind of fell into place, and, happily ever after. But the thought really kind of stuck with me, and I thought, man, that was really good advice, because, how many of us have made decisions in the moment that were completely wrong, that if we'd have just waited, looked at it, and just kind of, you got to weather what you're in at the moment, just to kind of see what's on the other side of it. So that was the inspiration for it.
Wow.
And I think it was kind of cold and snowy out, because I made reference to that in it at one point.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Now, where did you record? Did you record it at home? Did you record it at Kimbo's, or do you remember where you recorded it at?
I think I just recorded that one at home.
Wow, really?
Well,
because when I played these, before we sat down, I mean, the quality's pretty dang good. I thought you were going to say you recorded up at Kimbo's.
No, not that one.
Okay.
That was recorded live too. That was
dang.
Somebody recorded. That's on a compilation somewhere that Evan Dresser put together. And it was a singer-songwriter show. Yeah. And he recorded all of us, and so it made that.
Wow.
But that's the only, other than my home recording, that's all I have of it.
Oh wow. Wow.
But that was the inspiration. Just kind of giving something a little bit of time, and seeing that, indeed, a day does make a difference.
If we don't get anything else from this interview, we are going to get sage advice. Play all kinds of, don't be limited to one genre. 24 hours, look at it again. It's going to look different. I didn't know we were going to get into philosophy with you. That's pretty cool. 24 hours from now, Bryan Noaker, right here on the Rec Room Radio, our podcast.
generosity. Well, you can't go back to when you were young and free. Guess we'll just have to wait and see. The winter of your life is right here. I've just shoveled out 12 inches, a newly fallen fear, and the road is icing up, and I can hardly steer, just waiting for the dust to clear. You got to weather the storm somehow. Things will look different 24 hours from now, like a sailor of old looking over the bow. Hoping things look different just 24 hours from now. An unexpected visitor drops in, and he's drained your reservoirs of all you keep within. And you're running out of wisdom, your patience is wearing thin, and you wonder where your common sense has been. I've often heard it said, keep your eyes on the stars. Steady is the course that will lead you far. Don't give up the faith, all give in to the fight. 'Cause this pilgrim won't go quietly into the night. You gotta weather the storm somehow. Steady is the course that will lead you to see. Don't give up the faith, or get into the fight. 'Cause this pilgrim won't go quietly into the night.
Always sage advice from Bryan Noaker. Sleep on it for 24 hours. If you can sleep for 24 hours, or, look at it again in 24 hours. You may have a different perspective. That's a great song. Okay, so, you finally hooked up with Kimbo. And you've got the duo thing, which I didn't realize that went back that far. Were you doing any other projects at the time, or kind of moving forward there?
Milltown was kind of in full swing at that point.
Okay, so you're still with them.
Yeah, they were actually doing more than just. At that point, they were doing more than just the occasional show.
Okay.
But Kim and I would do our acoustic thing, and then every now and then we would break out the electrics, and we would get a drummer and do that, and that was always lots of fun.
Yeah.
We ended up with a couple times. We ended up with Jeremy Hummel, and fantastic drummer. Took him down to Baltimore and played down there. It was just a blast.
Yeah.
But then again with Kimbo, he'll put together what he coins all-star bands, and I'm not sure who the all-stars are, but he gets it's really kind of like his version of Milltown Blues. I mean, he just puts together people that he knows will play together.
Yeah.
And then they kind of get a loose set, and they just go for it.
Wow.
And
Wow.
so we've done a number of those, and still do.
Yeah.
From time to time.
Yeah.
But a wonderful guy to be over the road with. I mean, if you got to travel, he's the guy.
I've heard that he is, like I said, I've heard he is a character, and I've met him a number of times, and actually recorded up there a couple of times with him. And I can imagine he would be an interesting person to be on a road trip with.
Solid, absolutely solid.
Yeah,
just no issues. I mean, he's just really well. Certainly cares about the music.
Yep.
And what that sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
And more than that, I mean, personally, he's just easy to be around.
Exactly. My first experience of walking into a recording studio was at Kimbo's. And I was nervous, and I'm in there recording with Bruce Barr. So I'm like, geez. But it made me feel welcome. I had no idea what I was doing. Still don't, but I at the time, but just a great guy. And as you said, just makes you feel welcome, and So
Yep.
I have to get him in that chair and chat with him at some point. So
he would be a good interview.
He would be.
Yeah. He's actually spent a lot of time in this town. So.
Yeah. So there's a couple of things that I do want to ask you, but let's get from the mid '90s up through kind of today, or close to today, because you've played with everybody. I mean, you had mentioned Ann Kierstetter, and you've played with a lot of people. So kind of walk us through all those experiences.
Again, Milltown continues.
Yeah.
About let's see, when was it? Well, the entire time that Kimbo and I played, I mean, he was actually involved in another group called Daddy-O and the Sax Maniacs. And so he had that project.
Yeah.
I did a lot of solo acoustic stuff where I could.
Mm-hmm.
I used to try and coordinate that with other hobbies that I had. I used to play up in Vermont at Stowe, so that I could go up and I would book a gig so that I could ski.
Oh, wow.
And just kind of a 2-for-1 deal for me.
Yeah.
And I had a plug-in up there. I had somebody that knew me,
mm-hmm.
and it was easy.
Yeah.
It was a nice hotel. And, but did all that, and then I guess it was around 2000. I don't know, 12, 13 maybe. Ann Kierstetter called me and asked me if I would be interested in auditioning.
Mm.
And I thought, wow, this is pretty serious, like auditioning, right? And I knew I knew her from many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so she came. She and the bass player came to my house, and we didn't play a note. We just sat down and chatted for like an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Never picked up a guitar, which I found really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually we got to playing music. But I almost blew the interview from the very start, because she said, "You've probably never heard of me." And I said, "No." I said, I remember when you played in the Crosstown Bus. She said, "You saw the Crosstown?" I said, "You guys played at my high school prom."
Ooh.
Yeah. But I was trying to be complimentary.
Yeah.
I said, seriously, I said, I said, the date that I was with that night didn't have a chance. I said, I was enamored with you guys.
Oh, okay. So you recovered very nicely with that one.
I said, the material you were doing, I said, Chicago, Stick, they were horn band.
Yeah.
And, for a young musician to watch, it was my high school prom, or one of them.
Yeah.
But I just remember being totally floored with the sound that they had.
Yeah.
And thinking, why don't I sound like that? But she kind of got over that.
Lucky for you.
She was okay with that. But she retold the story numerous times too.
Yeah.
But we are we're going into 2025 now. That group will probably wind it up this year.
Oh, really? Okay.
So we've had, again, it's been a great run, and learned a lot, played a lot of different places with her, and again we do a duet once in a while, and do that as well. That there's actually a duet that came off of Milltown, and there was a duet that came off of the Ann Kerstetter band. And, they also perform. We do just smaller acoustic acts like that.
Yeah. I think nowadays it's good to have that that versatility to be able to take like a duo and play somewhere, and also have a full band to play the bigger places. Especially.
We used to call the duet from Milltown. I used to joke and call it was Milltown Bits, not Milltown Blues. But yeah, it seemed like a natural transition. And it ultimately came out of places that really wanted the band but couldn't afford it.
Well, yeah.
So.
Or don't have the spit. Well, I mean, some places will still put a 5-piece band in a
8 feet, right?
Yeah. Refresh my memory. Last year when they opened the bandstand, the new bandstand in Lewisburg, did she play the first gig there? Or one of the first gigs you guys did?
Yeah. We did one of the first.
Yeah.
And then I think Folk Justice did.
It may have been either Folk Justice did the first and you guys were, I can't remember. But I remember I was doing a podcast interview with someone and you guys were playing and it was like, oh, geez.
Yeah, we did the dedication.
That's it.
Yeah, we did the dedication.
Yes.
And then I think Folk Justice played there maybe a little bit later.
That's it. Yeah.
Again, great.
Yeah, because I just heard the music and I was like, well, and I saw Bill Stetz playing and I was like, oh, hey, that's Ann Kerstetter. I had the unenviable position to follow her at it was a songwriter open mic down in Selinsgrove one Sunday, and she comes up and just tears it, and then I get to go up. I'm like the dog act that follows the Beatles after that. So that was that I think that was the first time I ever formally met her, and she was very complimentary, but it was like no, can't hold a candle to you.
Pretty dynamic, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And again, it just speaks to the talent that we have in this area. So I mean, Ann Kerstetter, Kimbo, what other projects have you done or are you doing now?
Well, in the process with Ann, actually, you'd mentioned the mashup at the Bull Run.
Oh yeah.
From years ago. I lived about 4 blocks from that, and sadly, I only got into it a couple of nights.
Oh, really?
But it was towards the very end of
it.
And at one time, I was there, and Alan Combs was there, and I just purposely went over. I mean, I had heard some of his material, and it impressed me. And he was young; he's half my age, and I thought, I really want to talk to this guy. I really want to meet this guy. And so I just walked up and introduced myself, and we, just kind of chatted a little bit. And then the next exposure I had to him, he had Kimbo and I had done the Blues Challenge here in Williamsport, and then went down to Memphis as the finalist down there.
As a duo.
Oh,
wow.
And
cool.
He and Stacia
Abernathy,
they had a group called Twin Centers, and he had gone down the year after we did it, I think, or maybe it might have been 2 years. I don't remember. But when I saw that, I reached out to him again, and I offered to kind of do a little bit of work on his instrument, and I said, I want to talk to you about Memphis a little bit, what you can expect.
Oh.
And because we had a good experience, Kim and I had a great experience down there. And I'm not certain that he had the same experience, but but that was again really the second time we got together, and we became friends. And maybe a year or two later, he came over to my house, and he had he had a recording of his band, and he said he had a band called Soul Medicine.
Yep.
And he said, "What do you think of this?" And I said, "Yeah, it's good. It's very good." He said, "What's it missing?" And I said, "It needs Hammond B3." And he said, "Well, yeah." He goes, "We'd love to have a keyboardist." And I said, "Well, I could lay down some tracks on that." And he said, "I know you played." And I said, "Yeah, I played for years."
Yeah.
And so we did this very sort of trial sort of put me into the group as a ad hoc pianist and guitar player when needed. And very quickly it mushroomed, and that group was a couple years. We did the Austin Dam Festival a couple years in a row. It was a lot of fun.
That's right. Yeah.
And that group really gave me the opportunity to really immerse myself in writing, because that was the central focus of that group, was to try and do more originals,
material.
Yeah. And so we did a lot of Alan's tunes, and the nice part, and it was the first time that I got a chance to do this, because everything that I'd written up to that point was just by myself. And it was the first time that I got to sit down with one or two other people and just kind of talk about what we wanted to develop. And,
as far as songwriting, as far as songs?
Yeah. And it was the first time somebody gave me a song and said, "Put words to that." And I did.
Oh, wow.
And then vice versa. A lot of times we would get together and just kind of stream of consciousness. Okay, let's see where this goes. And, kind of pitch an idea. This is what I'm thinking. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
And then before long, I mean, you've got lyrics that go along with it.
Yeah.
And but I found that with that was my first shot at collaboration, and I really liked it.
I was going to ask you, what do you enjoy more, writing by yourself, where it's just you and you do all the edit, or writing in a collaborative effort?
Well, the most recent experience was collaboratively, and it just seemed to me that it opened up far more doors. You think of things that things come out that you might not have thought of by yourself, and it's just interesting too to see where other people's thoughts take you.
Yeah.
I mean, that can be the case whether you're whether it's a group of musicians or whether it's people deciding what to do in any professional organization.
Yeah.
If you have one person that makes all the decisions, then that's the only perspective you're going to have.
Right.
But it's just neat to see how it all comes together.
Yeah.
And plus, with Alan, again, being that he's quite a bit younger than me, you talk about a different perspective. I mean, he's a whole different generation, and it's really kind of cool to include that, because it broadens my horizon.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
But and you're right. It's a whole nother. But he is so grounded in, like, him and I went down this deep rabbit hole on the Beatles the first time we met, and then we went down a similar rabbit hole with him on Steely Dan.
Yeah.
So I mean, but he brings that to the party as well. All this, the background, the older stuff. Now, was that more? So that was the Soul Medicine was more originals.
Yeah, we did probably 45% of the material we would do out was ours.
Yeah.
And so this was all occurring while the Ann Kerstetter band was playing actively.
Yeah.
And really busy. But the Ann Kerstetter band didn't do original material. It just wasn't really in our wheelhouse.
Sure.
And I guess we could have, but we just never went down that path. But that group allowed me, the opportunity to do that. In fact, it was kind of encouraged, and rather than learning the latest thing that had come out, latest cover.
Yeah.
Why don't we try something here? And two of us in that group have cabins. So
okay.
The way we do that is sometimes we'll all head to, either my place or the other guy has a place along Penn's Creek,
mm-hmm.
and you're getting away from everything.
Yeah.
And sometimes the ideas really flow
mm-hmm.
doing that.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Cool. Let's take a break. We'll come back for the third section. A couple other questions I want to ask you, and I'm sure I'm going to forget some stuff. But also just kind of see what you're up to now, and also want to talk about your work, because you mentioned that you did some guitar work for Alan Colm. So I want to talk a little bit about that. But we're going to play a song that you wrote called "Unconditionally." So where'd that one come from? When did you write it? Kind of tee it up for us a little bit.
Let's see.
I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, what was it about? Well, it's certainly it was actually written probably about my first wife.
Okay.
And we at that time, I think we were trying to conceive a son, and or a daughter, or anything,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
It was really about that, and just the idea of having somebody that no matter what happens, that person's there for you.
Yeah.
And I know that was probably sometime around 2002, 2003, something like that.
Yeah.
And I just remember thinking, I sure am glad I'm not going through this alone.
Yeah.
Life and all the stuff that goes along with it, the good and the bad.
Right.
But just the idea of having somebody that no matter what goes down, they're going to be there for you.
Yeah. Bryan Noaker, Unconditionally. And as we move out of this segment of the Rec Room Radio Hour podcast.
provide me with occasion to try and stay. And it's amazing to me that you continue to be in love with a man like me. And now and then, when the tide is pulling me under, you pull me out and show your love for me. Even though I still feel the rain and thunder, I feel your love unconditionally. When other hands are on my time, and I've had enough of just feeling fine, you know the truth. And even though I've grown older, I still carry the weight on my shoulders. It's of no use when my angels have abandoned me, and I'm feeling no longer free. I long for your sweet release. And now and then, when I can't take myself anymore, you raise me up and give your strength to me. You think by now I realize what true love is for. Will you give your love unconditionally? Unconditional love for me. Unconditional love for me.
Bryan Noaker's song Unconditionally right here on the Rec Room Radio Hour podcast. And this last segment, we're going to just kind of sweep up the glass on what you're doing now, some of the projects you're doing now, and then chat about some of the other extracurricular activities that you do in the music world and here in the valleys. But what are you up to now?
Still doing the acoustic thing with Kim Reichley.
Okay.
The Ann Kerstetter Band will continue up through September of 25.
Okay.
There'll be some duets with Ann.
Good.
There'll be some Milltown Blues shows.
Mm-hmm.
But the latest project is with Joel Stover and Todd Egger.
Okay.
And we both of these guys I knew. I actually knew Todd professionally from another career, and Joel I kind of got to know because his group and our group were playing in the same venues.
Yeah.
And he actually reached out, and there were a few times where I had to substitute in for his. He has an acoustic trio called Rapid Run.
Yep.
And there was a time or two where I had to sit in with them, and we became, got to know each other a little bit, and very similar tastes, and again, like me, I mean, Joel has a background in all kinds of music.
Yeah.
And he's not married to any of it, I mean, it's a good song is a good song, no
right.
matter what the genre is. And I again, for me, when I go into working with different people, I mean, there has to be. There are a lot of great musicians, and there are some musicians that you wouldn't necessarily want to work with,
right?
Just personally. That's not really been my experience with much of anyone, but I'm sure there are people out there like that. But at least for me, going into this, I mean, there has to be the personal side of it is extremely important.
Well, I think it speaks to, you had mentioned when you auditioned for Ann Kierstetter, it wasn't really a musical audition. You sat and chatted for, when you say, like a couple hours.
Yeah.
And having gone through the process of looking for a band member, a guitar player, I really don't care where the person comes from, what genre of music they come from, or, even to a certain extent, I don't even care how good your chops are. If you get along with, the rest of the band, if there's a personal, like you connect on a personal level with whatever, that's half the battle, really,
Absolutely.
Because you need to fit, that person needs to fit with you and you need to fit with them. And that is really kind of rare to find,
Well, speaking of that interview, it was kind of interesting, some of the stuff that they asked me, and it had to do with really, like, what were the other things in my life at that time?
Yeah.
Do you have kids? Do you have a wife? What's your professional life?
Yeah.
And it was the idea of, is this person somebody that's too busy to do,
right.
The job?
Yeah.
Is it somebody that we can get along with? And in my latest project, when we started talking about this, I mean, I thought, well, I can work with this guy because, I know him kind of outside of what we're doing now.
Yeah.
And again, similar background. He was, Joel had actually recorded a country record in Nashville.
Yeah.
And good voice, good all around musician, and just kind of steeped in the business of it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
The drummer, Todd, has been in this area. Actually, he was the drummer for Ann Kierstetter for a while. Did that years ago.
Is it Todd Fogel?
Todd Egger.
Egger, thank you. I'm sorry, my bad.
Yeah. Todd Fogel, another good drummer, though.
Yes, okay, that's where I got. When I heard Todd, I was like, oh, he must be talking about Todd Fogel.
Also, someone I've played with. So.
Yeah, well, who haven't you played with?
Elton John. So.
Elton John. Okay. Now, is this going to be Rapid Run, or is it just another project for Joel?
No, this is a whole different type of music. That's mainly acoustic music, and and Joel's wife plays the cajon on it. But this is going to be more, I would call it classic rock, guitar-oriented music. And once again, I bring the keyboards back out.
All right.
So we're doing 3-piece kind of stuff with some
cool
keys.
Covers, originals, or both?
So far, it's only covers.
Okay.
But I see a day where we'll probably incorporate that.
Good.
Because I have some freedom in this.
Yeah.
And, but that band will be going out here probably in February. I think
we'll keep an eye on that. Yeah, cool.
It's called Vinyl Noise.
Vinyl Noise. Yeah. Okay, mark that down, boys and girls. Vinyl Noise. You also take care of the tools of the musician trade here in the valleys. You're also a guitar repair. Do you consider yourself a luthier? Tell us a little bit about that little facet of your career.
Well, it was something that I got into about, probably 30 years ago.
Okay.
And it was actually through another job that I had. And I found myself, there were a lot of cheap guitars that needed repaired for for some students, and they exceeded the value. Like you wouldn't take these to a store and say fix these, and so I just wanted to see the program continue. So I took them home kind of one by one and started working on them, and most of it was just simple stuff that out of adjustment, bridges, that kind of thing. And I didn't realize, but eventually I became the caretaker of all of those. But that's kind of where I got started in it, taking care of my own equipment. And in the early 90s, a good friend of mine went out to Roberto Veen in Arizona, and he got trained. And when he came back, I saw some of the work that he was doing, and I said, look, this is going to sound corny, but I said, can I kind of apprentice under you?
Oh, wow.
And he kind of gave me the side eye, and I said, no, just show me what you know.
Yeah. And
so for the next, quite a few years, and we were in a band together. So he kind of showed me everything that he knew. And then I got to be acquainted with some of the other guys in the area that do that. Specifically John Hall in Higgins, and he's the Martin repair guy for this area. Anytime you go into his shop, you're going to get a 3 or 4 hour tutorial, and he's wonderful. I was there to get some advice on a project that I was working on, and I got a lesson on how to route for binding. He had developed a technique for that, and he just couldn't wait to show it to somebody. So I was like, but he's a tool guy, and but as far as the start in it, I'd always been a woodworker and built furniture and things like that, and so there really wasn't too much of a transition. I can answer the question, when will you ever need math? If you want to fix guitars, you better know your math. But over the past 10 years, it's kind of morphed into, fiddles and upright basses. And
oh, no kidding. Okay.
Wow. Little shooting match.
Wow. Now, have you ever built your own guitar?
Yeah, several.
Really? Yeah. Good for you. Acoustic or electric or both?
Both.
You've built acoustic guitars.
I did build one.
Dang.
Yeah. And it's not anything of any great quality, but it was a good project to start with. But building and repairing it's really two different rabbit holes that you can go down. And in this town, you have a really talented luthier that builds, and it really, I can't say enough about his work.
Yeah. You're talking about Sean Farley?
Yeah, Sean.
Yeah.
The wood that he uses and the quality of workmanship is you just don't get that anywhere else. But he is uniquely tooled up to do that. And I know that, or I believe that he was looking at acoustic guitar construction as well, and that's pricey to get into.
Yes. He's built a couple of acoustics, and he just built one for Alan Faust. I don't know if you know him up in the area. Yeah, he just built one for Alan, and God, that thing is just, thing is so nice to play.
I've seen a couple of his builds, and I'm always impressed.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's doing it. He's he has a brand, and I can also speak too to the I'm not sure that I would have the creativity. Everything about what he builds is unique.
Right.
It doesn't look like anything else.
Yeah.
And that's to his credit.
Yep.
But I never got. I wouldn't call myself a builder.
Okay.
The guitars that I built for my entertainment.
Yeah.
But the repair side of it, that's really just to as an income source.
Yeah.
And I've always billed myself as a musician who works for musicians.
Yeah.
Because none of us are rich. And, when you have a piece of gear that's not working right, I mean, the last thing you want to hear is it's going to cost, lots and lots of money to make it right.
Yeah.
And plus, there's an emotional factor, too, that most people have with an instrument. It's just wood and strings, just wood and steel. But, it's amazing how emotionally attached you can get to a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Violin players, they're kind of funny.
Yeah.
I worked on a violin from the 1700s recently, and I just remember thinking, don't foul this up.
Yeah, no kidding.
But yeah, it's allowed me to kind of get my hands on a lot of really cool instruments. A Martin. I worked on a Martin that was not a Nazareth Martin. It was a New York Martin, which means it was made prior to 1867 or 68. And when that came in, it was like, wow. this is
impressive. Wow. That speaks to your confidence that dang.
Well, either confidence or crazy. I'm not sure.
There's not a lot of forgiveness with working on. I mean, because it's a pre-war Martin. Now this is a pre-Nazareth Martin.
Yeah, this is really old.
Yeah.
I remember I looked at the label and I was like, no, this can't be.
Yeah.
And of course, the person that owned it, he knew what he had.
Yeah. Well, that speaks well about you that he would entrust you with this.
Yeah, I was amazed too. So, but it's allowed me to get, they kind of come in from all over now. I mean,
really,
I got hooked up with Google a couple years ago, and that. Then it was out.
That's interesting. I really thought you just kind of did it as a side. Bring your guitar. But this is actually, you're set up. Lack of a better term, this is a business for you. Like, yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's
interesting.
I really kind of dug into it. I retired from a professional career a couple years back, and I just. It was just a way that I could kind of get involved with the musical community, and not only that, but it keeps me connected to a lot of the local musicians, at least from my end of the county.
Right.
I don't see too many folks from up here, but at any given time, I mean, there's a musician going through my shop, and
wow.
We often joked it would kind of be neat to actually do a show there, because at any given time there would be a musician there, but sometimes two or three would kind of converge at one time, and then it's the meeting of the minds. And at that point, everybody's swapping gigs and talking about,
And you don't know who you're going to get and what kind of lack of a better term, what kind of an amalgam of styles you'll get and what comes out of it.
Yeah.
You might be onto something.
Well, we often talk that it'd be kind of cool to do a show there. Actually, do a something that YouTube or a podcast.
Yeah,
or whatever, because,
absolutely.
I mean, we're all doing the same kind of thing in the same places.
But I think what you're doing, certainly with the guitar, with the repair side and all that, and you had mentioned that musicians helping musicians. And I have not been doing this as long as you have, or as long as Blair has, or Kim. But one of the things that strikes me about this area, and I don't know that it's common anywhere else, is that for the most part, we all kind of support each other. For the most part. I mean, there's some outliers that, it's okay, but I would say the majority of the musicians in this area support each other, whether it's, repairing guitars, loaning equipment, helping promote. I don't know you see that too many other places, but, correct me if I'm wrong.
I wouldn't correct you at all. That's, that, in fact, I've said the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you definitely get a sense of community, in Northumberland, Union County, the guys that kind of focus in the southern end of that. I mean, whether, occasionally you get asked to borrow equipment or whatever, but a lot of times it's, whatever, somebody in your group is sick and you don't want to leave the venue sticking.
Right.
We all know other people.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've called, saying, hey, we got a gig, you guys could have this.
Yep.
And there's definitely a sense of community.
Yeah.
And I definitely see it up here.
Yeah.
Because you see, I think you see it in Pennsylvania in general, because there's only so many people, and a lot of them will cross bands. They'll be in this group or this group,
Mm-hmm.
and then that connects this group to these people over here.
Yeah.
And if there was ever sort of a model for how you network, that's really what it is.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I definitely get a sense of that. In fact, there's one local musician that's on that will be a part of the show at the Pajama Factory. He has a party every year, and that's all it is musicians.
Yeah.
They show up, and it's a gigantic jam for about a day.
Now, who's that?
Frank Wicker.
Yeah.
Frank has a get together every year. And if you want to know where all the musicians are on July 3rd or 4th, it will be at his place.
Yeah. Speaking of the show at the Pajama Factory, tell us a little bit about that. This may be dated. In other words, this may come out either the week of or the week after the show, but still tell us about what's going on at the Pajama Factory.
Well, looks like there's 5 artists, I guess.
Yeah.
And,
so it's you, Frank Wicker, Clay Minier, Steve Kearns, and John Sweeney. Yeah, John Sweeney.
Yeah, Mike
Yeah.
Hickey, yeah. John and Mike I know quite well. In fact, John has played with the Ann Christetter band.
There's another great guy. I mean, I have never had a bad experience being around John Sweeney.
Yep. Yeah,
He's just one of these people. It's like if he walks in, it's like, oh man, this is going to be good.
Yep.
Even if I was like in a pot with people around me, cooking me for dinner, it's like, John, oh yeah, this is not going to be bad. This is going to be like a nice warm bath because John's a great guy.
He and I did a show this summer. It was just, and again, it was a pickup, kind of show.
Yeah.
Like a 2-hour thing.
Yeah.
And you've never met anybody that has more knowledge about tube amplifiers. I mean,
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
John is a collector of old tube amps, vintage amps.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I'll have to file that away for when we do his podcast interview.
But yeah, he's. I know John. I know Mike Hickey. He was a prof at Bloom, and also a client. We certainly know Frank Wicker.
Yeah.
Frank and I played together in different shows. As far as the other people on the bill, I don't.
Yeah, Clay is a member of Gray Valley, and they're kind of in that jam band, kind of bluesy jam band kind of genre, but they're fantastic band. It's and Steve Kearns is a local songwriter, has a band, Electric Coast. And he just had a song on Celtic Wooden Wire's new CD called "The Troubles of Michael Collins," about a Irish leader of the rebellion back in the early 20th century. So this is going to be on the 24th of January. Yeah, and starts at what time? 7 o'clock, and goes till whenever. I guess till like midnight. So, and it's right here at the Pajama Factory. So as I said, depending on when Bryan's podcast comes out, it may be old news, but there's more stuff coming down the pike thanks to Blair Mitchelltree with in the Cadillac Cats of some shows that are coming up here in Williamsport that hopefully will get Williamsport and the Pajama Factory kind of on the map with various music shows and genres, and they have an all-female, female-centric show coming up as well that we'll talk about with Blair on a future podcast coming up here in the next couple of weeks. But so the last couple of boilerplate questions we ask for every episode of the podcast. Is there a piece of equipment, guitar, amp, pedal, cord, whatever, that you got rid of that you want back, that you would love to have back?
Yeah, that's pretty easy. I think every guitar player has this. There's the one that got away. The one that you let go that you shouldn't have. For me, it was a 1966 Telecaster that I foolishly got rid of.
Standard Telecaster, or was it one of the?
Just a standard Telecaster, solid body.
So what model year was it?
66.
So was it considered pre? No, pre CBS is 65 or before, right?
Would have been right after that.
Right after it, okay.
But it was a cool guitar.
But they used all the parts. I think for a while they were using parts that were Fullerton pieces, even at that early time. Yeah. So how'd you get rid of it? Just
it was. I think I probably needed money for equipment or something. Like I needed a mixer or something silly.
Yeah.
And I got rid of it, and because really my first electric was a Les Paul, and I was just bone ignorant enough to not really appreciate the difference. Like I just looked at it and thought, boy, this thing's thin and wimpy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's supposed to be. You know? I mean, it's a Telecaster, and I didn't fully appreciate the tones that one could really get out of that. And ironically, I mean, today, I mean, if I had to, stranded on a desert island somewhere, if you had one guitar, I think those are the Swiss Army knife of guitars.
Yeah.
Because there's not a whole lot that you can't pull out of them.
Yeah.
They do a lot of things well.
Yes. Yeah, and you can use it as a boat oar if you get stranded in the middle of a lake. What's your primary acoustic and electric instrument that you're using right now? Like your primary stage stuff?
I've used a Gibson SJ200.
I have seen you play that thing. That thing is a thing of beauty.
It's a big guitar.
Yeah.
They have a whole different sound than like Martins or Guilds or anything else. And I mean, I have a couple of Martins too, but the J200 is amongst my favorite.
Yeah.
But I did recently get a backup for it. I picked up a 71 Hummingbird.
Ooh.
And that's a close second in terms of its tone. And I like it because it feels like the J200. The neck feels very similar.
Yeah.
And it's the same electronics.
Is the Hummingbird a slope shoulder or is it a regular dreadnought?
That's a square shoulder.
Square shoulder. Okay. All right.
Yeah. The 45 is usually the rounded shoulder.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Wow. Now, what's your primary electric that you play now?
I kind of go back and forth, but for the past year, it's been a Les Paul or the 335. And then always the secondary guitar is Telecaster.
Yeah.
But I've gone back and forth. I mean, I kind of went through a Strat phase for a while and got bit by that bug. And, but of late, the past year, it's been a Les Paul standard.
Amplifier that you use with your electric?
That I had built.
Oh, no kidding.
I got my first taste of a hand-wired amp while I was working for another group, and I listened to this thing, and I thought, I need that.
Yeah.
And a variety of amps, Fender Pros and Twins and whatnot over the years, but eventually I contacted Don Moser at Mose Amps, and he's in Turboville. Now, what's really cool in this area, there are at least two guys that build incredible amplifiers. Gary Krause up in Trout Run. It's a great amp.
Yep.
But Don builds, he'll build to whatever spec you want.
Wow.
And so the first one that I got was a 15 watt. It was called a double shot. And that was a Kendrick circuit that he put together. And I liked it, but it broke up too quick. I needed a little bit more headroom. So he and I sat down and figured out what I wanted, and he built me a 22 watt Tweed that I've been using since. And I can't go back to anything else.
Oh, wow. So is that built off of like a twin reverb kind of design? Or because when you said it at 22, I'm thinking, oh, it's twin reverb kind of.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Nope.
No.
Single 12, no master volume,
Oh,
single channel,
interesting.
volume, bass, treble, reverb. And then because I had tremolo on my first amp when I was a kid, I wanted it.
Okay.
And so we put tremolo on it as well.
Yeah.
And so the front faceplate is extremely simple. The amp is extremely simple. It really gives the power tubes a run for the money, because he really made it run hot.
Yeah.
Now, am I going to burn through some tubes? Maybe. I don't know. But it doesn't break. The headroom is incredible on it for a 22 watt amp. I'm really happy with it. But again, it's just a piece of gear.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to the player most of the time, because we all can have good stuff, but if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. Now, are you a pedal guy?
Yeah, not as much as some people. That's one of those. That's just a slope that once you go down, but I kind of going back and forth. In the '80s, I had a rack mount thing with a digital pedal board.
Yeah.
And lived that, survived that, and then it's kind of funny. Went back to stomp boxes later on and analog, and but just kind of the tried true, the normal stuff that most, TS9, a good compressor, a good chorus, whatever your choice is.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of guys that just search, eternally for the ultimate tone.
Yeah.
And that's important, But I've probably had the same pedal lineup for 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just real basic kind of stuff.
Well, when it comes down to it, it's the fingers on the fretboard, and it really comes down to, you can have all the pedals. I mean, perfect example is myself. You can have all the pedals in that, but it really comes down to what you have in the fingers and your approach to it. So, sure. Yeah. Pedals. Anthony Latt from Runaway Stroller. Do you know him? Oh my God, he's got a pedal board you could land the space shuttle with. Every time he plays with us, it's like, dude,
he needs a road crew to bring his board in.
Yeah. And then Tyler Eric.
Yeah, I know Tyler.
I played last year. I played a songwriter thing down at the Community Zone in Lewisburg. And thankfully, I went first so that I didn't have to follow him, because he was just incredible. But it's the first person I've ever seen played a pedal board. He plays it like another instrument. And I'm like, holy shit. And I was blown away with what he did with that thing. Yeah. Incredible. But, it really comes down to, you can have all those pedals, and if he didn't have, the touch and the feel and the, in the fingers.
He's a two hands-on guy.
Oh my gosh!
Two hands on the neck, and
yeah,
I've watched him play a number of times, and
incredible.
He's really pretty amazing.
Yeah, we have in this area some incredible musicians, incredible songwriters. One thing we didn't talk about was incredible recording studios. We've got a number of incredible pro-level recording studios, amp builders, 2 amp builders that we just mentioned, Gary Krause and who down in Tuberville?
Don Moser.
Don Moser. Guitar repair, luthier. I mean, we're pretty blessed in this area, and just the incredible amount of talent in bands, and even though you coming up through the years that you did, we have some incredible venues. I mean, certainly not like had back in the day, but we have incredible venues. Some of them, they're kind of stuck in their little niches in that, but some of them, they'll, you're a jam band, reggae band, come on in and play. We're blessed in this area. I really think so. And so my question is, correct me if I'm wrong, is that we've got a lot of stuff here in this area.
Yeah, I've said that to a lot of people.
Yeah.
That and as far as venues, there's not gigantic rock and roll clubs, big
right.
production kind of things, but there's a lot of places to play,
mm-hmm.
and there are so many places to do like duet singles, duets and solos and trios.
Right.
And then I think what's happened interestingly over the last 20 or 30 years is, the barroom scene has kind of died down a little bit, and you're seeing like wineries become a thing. Of course, there's a real uptick in wineries. They're popping up everywhere, and all of them have entertainment.
Yeah.
Or they want entertainment. And again, see, it's another venue.
Yeah.
But there's really no shortage of places, to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more difficult for a band because, you're paying more people. It's more money.
Right.
But it's certainly more fun with 4 or 5 guys.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. We are winding up here. Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you wanted to talk about?
No, I can't really think of anything.
I feel like we've only scratched the surface with you. I really do. And I said the same thing. Roccanello, who I interviewed, I think he was like the 7th or 8th episode of this thing. And I said, I got to get you back because I don't think we've even touched the surface of everything. And I feel the same way with you. I'm going to work and get you back in here and chat a little bit more because I think there's some more stuff. Okay. Thank you for coming. Thank you. We will look forward to seeing you at the Songwriter Showcase on the 24th of January, right here at the Pajama Factory. And if you're listening to this afterwards, there's going to be other shows, and we will have them on the Facebook page for the radio show. Do you have social media? Do you have a website that people can keep up with your stuff? Or
I'm on Facebook and Instagram, Bryan Noaker.
Okay,
you can find me there. And there's a page for the guitar repair as well. Okay.
We will we'll highlight each of those on the podcast. We're going to close things out with Bryan with his song "Biggest Fan," and just getting to know him over the last hour or so. I'm a fan now. So tell us about "Biggest Fan." It's a nice little song. So
yep, that's my butterfly kisses.
I kind of got that impression when I listened to it.
This was written around 2002 or 3,
mm-hmm.
and I used to play my guitar. I would sit on the floor, and my son was about 1.5 years or 2 years old at the time, and he would come up and he would bang on the top of the guitar because it would make sound, and of course he got a big kick out of that. And he would do that, and so that became a nightly routine for us where. We would get down we had a basement rec room, and there was a fireplace, and we would kind of, just kind of hang out there together, and I would play songs that he wanted to hear.
Yeah.
And then of course I introduced him to the Beatles and things like that were. You should.
Yeah. Now, is this your son that went to Berkeley?
Yeah,
All right. I just want to make sure that we're tracking here. Good job, Dad.
So, but I remember thinking, at that point, the song is called "My Biggest Fan," and it's about him, and it's really not about that, but it's just about the fact that when you become a parent, everything that you've ever done in your life just pales by comparison.
Yeah.
At that point, I remember you're going into that, like, okay, I had some success as a musician, and I felt like I was, happy with myself there, and in other things, other areas of my life. And I even had, it was kind of cool because a couple of years before he was born, I had the opportunity to play in Germany, and I did.
Oh, wow.
Which that turned into a whole other thing. I mean, I ended up playing in China, Vietnam, and Cambodia afterwards.
See, we got to have you back, man, because my nascent interviewing skills didn't,
But I remember thinking, wow, I've played in Europe. I've arrived, right?
Yeah.
Once you see the birth of your own kid and you realize, wow, it's not just me anymore.
Yeah.
And like now I've arrived. Now I am something, and nothing compares to that moment when you have that realization that, like, hey, you're responsible for somebody else, and you created this. So everything lyrically in that is pretty true. Because those are the songs that I would play for him when he was a little boy.
Oh, man.
Like I said, the song is really just kind of an epiphany about realizing that everything that you've done to that point until you become a parent, then you've arrived.
Yeah.
Then you've done something pretty amazing. Wow. And you're part of a club that no one else is, or that only other parents are.
Yeah.
And so that's what the song's about, and he was the subject matter. And I think he probably cringes when I play it now, but
it makes a lovely song even more lovelier, with that story. So it has been an absolute pleasure to get to know you, Bryan. Finally, I hope we have a chance to sit down and chat again soon, because now I want to hear about Europe and China and all that. So, all right, Bryan Noaker, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
All righty, my friend. Biggest fan, and I hope you are now included in Bryan Noaker's biggest fan club as well, right here on the Rec Room Radio Hour podcast.
I've stood on the banks of the Danube, known many hearts who were true, played my music for many women and men, but nothing compares to my biggest fan. I've climbed the Alps on a hot summer day, I've roamed the palaces where princes played, I've gone and had myself a whole lot of fun, but nothing compares to my audience of one. Well, the stage is set tonight, I'll play my guitar by the firelight. Old MacDonald, all this old man, are on the set list for my biggest fan. He doesn't ask about those trips abroad, not even sure what all the countries are called, and he could care less about Amsterdam. I'm talking about my biggest fan. Well, the stage is set tonight, I'll play the guitar by the firelight. We'll settle in for a little man-to-man. Yeah, me and my biggest fan. Hours away I'll minimize my time away, 'cause it's here with you that I want to stay. You know you're with me through each dusty mile, and you'll learn soon enough life has its trials. Till then we'll play a little one-on-one. Oh, I'm talking about your son. Well, the stage is set tonight. I'll play my guitar by the firelight. Old MacDonald, all this old man are on the set list for my biggest fan. Well, the stage is set tonight. I'll play my guitar by the firelight. We'll settle in for a little man to man. Yeah, me and my biggest fan.
I hope after this episode you are now included in Biggest Fan Club with Bryan Noaker. He is great. It was a joy, absolute joy to sit down with him and learn about. And I said we only scratched the surface because he alludes to touring in Europe and Japan. So we're going to get him back and get some road stories from Bryan Noaker. So thanks to him for coming to the studio and sitting down with us. Hey, the interview was recorded at WXPI Community Radio Studios, was edited and mixed here at Airline Studios with my best gal, Roxy, right by my side. Thanks to the Clark McLean Band for their song theme for not only the podcast, but also the radio show. And listen to the radio show each week on WXPI Community Radio, 88.5 on the frequency modulation dial, www.wxpiradio.org. I am, as ever, your humble and contrite host, Michael Lundy, asking you to please don't fret. Stay tuned and play nice. Until we meet again here on the podcast airwaves, bye-bye.